All right, my garage smells like mildew. We'll save that for next week. Let's punt that down the road. I'm going to ask for some volunteers. We're going to go in there and clean it up. That's. I think I may need glasses. I had to skip an optometry appointment. I'm 40 years old. I think it's just become that time for me to have glasses. I'm afraid. I don't know. I was looking at the billboards coming in here, and I can't tell a Vince Vaughn from a Grand Theft Auto character anymore.
You are holding your eye, Harmon, closer and closer.
Yeah. No, it's a thing. I don't know. Yeah. So we got there's a new segment tonight.
Tell me what kind of music theme you think you'd want. Upbeat, downbeat, funky, old school. What do you want?
Do you have something provincial? So I can find out what that word means when I hear it.
I'll pick a province and I'll go with it.
This segment is called Erin McGathy Asks Questions About the Grand Theft Auto 5 Billboard.
Erin McGathy.
Hi, y'all! How you doing?
Hey. So we were driving down Sunset, and you saw a big billboard for Grand Theft Auto 5, which is coming out this month.
Yeah.
And you had some questions about the billboard.
Yeah. Who is that guy?
He's just a guy that you can play in Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm assuming.
Okay, is he a special guy because he's just wearing a polo shirt?
He's just a guy. He's a guy that you'll be able to play in Grand Theft Auto 5. He's not currently famous within the Grand Theft Auto universe.
So then why is he on the advertisement? Why am I driving down the street and I see a giant guy?
Because Christian Bale isn't in the game, and it's just they're just, and the Grand Theft Auto 5 audience is built in, and so they're just reminding you, oh, this huge video game is coming out with a new release, and here's our stylistic kind of.
Is he supposed to be a real person?
Now is that?
I'm really distracted by Tyler raising his hands. We're actually just repeating our conversation from before.
Yeah, this is yeah. I mean, there's no. I don't know what you know.
You just want to raise your hand?
No, they're doing their conversation again.
Oh boy, you guys are the worst.
Jeez.
The segment. The segment is called
the best day of my life.
Erin's questions about the Grand Theft Auto billboard.
Yeah, and just to let you guys behind the curtain a little bit, we had this conversation, so that's the bit. Okay, but it's not a
not that I ever stopped and went, this is the best conversation in the world.
No,
we should have it again.
But
I just wanted you to ask your questions again.
Okay. So here are my real questions. Sorry, now I'm in my head. But these, I'm going to think about the actual way that I feel about this billboard. So he's just holding a bunch of money. It's Grand Theft Auto 5, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said it that way. Grand Theft Auto 5. It's Grand Theft Auto 5, so why is there not like a special character on the billboard? Why is the billboard just like my dentist?
He's a guy that likes to steal cars. Put your hand down, Tyler. It doesn't. Don't you understand the question? The answers don't matter. No, they're not rhetorical. But the answers don't matter. This is what she doesn't understand: is that Grand Theft Auto 5 could put a fucking turd on a billboard and say, "Remember to buy Grand Theft Auto 5." And I keep explaining that to her. It doesn't matter. Like when the Batman 9 movie comes out, they're not gonna. They don't go like, "All right, make sure that we show Batman doing something awesome."
But he's definitely like in a shadow, or he's at least wearing his bat outfit.
Just to let you know that there's a Batman movie. That's all they care about.
Okay, so Tyler, this is a real question about Grand Theft Auto. So that man in the polo, he's a man we know.
There's 3 different characters in the new Grand Theft Auto game. He is one of the 3 characters.
But he's not a man we know.
He's not a man we know.
No.
Okay, exactly. So he's just a man wearing a polo shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks exactly like all the other past Grand Theft Auto characters.
Okay, so is that the... Okay. So Lauren?
Someone just called her racist for saying that.
Lauren just said that he looks like all the characters in the game. Okay, so is the idea that it's like, they're back at it again. We have another white man in a polo shirt. That's
my favorite video game company is making my favorite video game again. Yeah, and it's like a guy, just any guy. Like it might have been a woman in a bikini,
Right. Well, what I was saying earlier is like I would even though it's so misogynist, I'm almost like, where are the girls with the giant crazy pumpkin breasts? Like, why is it just this man in this polo shirt holding a bunch of cash?
I've never played the game, but from what I know, they're probably being raped by a car, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, which is why people play that game, right? No, I know that's not why you play the game. By the way, you guys I feel like you guys are being really mean or weird or not mean.
No, they're not.
I don't think they're being
mean. Not mean.
Me? What the hell?
Back off.
I go with
Let it go. Contentious.
All right, look. There's only
I don't
one.
think you're being mean.
There's only
That's
one
not
way
what I
to.
meant.
There's only one way to resolve this.
I feel silly about this now.
We have to have a new segment called Tyler's Answers about Grand Theft Auto. He's going to explode.
Okay, well then I have actual questions. Okay. So in every Grand Theft Auto game, is it always just it's just a generic looking man with a polo shirt?
There's a new protagonist in every game.
And that's not what I asked. In the other games, like is it just always men in polos?
No.
Okay. What are the men? What are the heroes usually?
In the previous one, it was a guy from the Eastern Bloc. His name was Nico.
Okay.
He kind of played an immigrant. You were new to America. He was
Gotcha.
in New York. He was kind of trying to leave his old life behind, but it caught up with him, and he did that again.
So is the purpose of the Billboard to be like, we're back to a white guy?
I honestly don't know the purpose of back to white.
Like, are they pulling back from like a special
There's
thing?
3 guys in the new game. There's dude in polo shirt. There's a dude coming out of the hood trying to leave the old hood mentality behind, and crazy guy who is kind of a psychopath. There's the 3 things, and they're like, let's all get together and do heists. That's the point behind the new one.
How do they know each other?
I don't know. I haven't played the game. It's coming
but
out.
you seem to know a lot about it.
I know this from the marketing material they've put out so far.
Erin, are you asking these questions because you want to get into Grand Theft Auto? Is this a new thing, or are you just?
I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto would make me cry. I don't want to get it.
It's not that bad.
Well, I don't like thievery.
Okay.
Well, that might.
Theft is a big part of the Grand Theft Auto games. Yes, stealing.
I respect other people's property. I don't like running over people.
Well, with each new release, there are more and more non-criminal elements you could focus on. You can go to a bowling alley. You can just be a cab driver.
That's what I was asking before. Like him just holding the cash. If I didn't know what it was, I'd be like, oh, this guy just got back from the bank.
Oh man,
he's going to apply for a small business loan. What?
You seriously? You're like, you look at the billboard, you're like, oh man, that guy went to Chase and withdrew $2,000.
You know what,
What is
Tyler?
he doing? Is he buying a pool?
Not
an above-ground
seriously.
pool? What?
Not literally. I'm
Literally.
with the way that it. So more questions. Has there ever been like and I'm not saying this defensively, but has there ever been a female like marauder?
There has never been a female protagonist in a Grand Theft Auto or any game by the people who made that game. No.
Okay. So these polo people. Is the idea that
if they actually had actual polo players where there was like guys that were like playing polo on a horse and they would get off and they would shoot a guy and get on his polo pony.
They're adding the Polo 6.
The previous
Polo.
Grand Theft Auto games to the one that came out where we had the guy in New York, they were kind of timepieces. So like you had one that was set in the 80s and one that was set in the 90s and stuff.
Fun.
So
okay.
they were kind of different characters. Now they've kind of gone.
I like genre.
No, totally. They were genre pieces. Like this is an 80s film.
But there's never going to be one in 19th century England.
I know. That's exactly what I was picturing a Jane Austen carriage.
So this carriage, you're not on the agenda. Why don't you step outside and let me take this carriage?
Have you guys played Grand Theft Handsome Cab?
Yeah.
So is the idea? Do you think the idea of the game is that these men are normal men because you're like, oh, I could be the thief?
Maybe.
What's the word I'm looking for? The car stealer. Is there a word for that?
Criminal?
Thief?
Well, I didn't know if there was like burglar or I don't know, whatever. Dumb question.
I think as the
Carjacker.
I'm gonna go with
Carjacker.
criminal.
I think as technology increases, and these computer systems have more memory and hard drive space, and the chips are faster, and blah blah blah. The more they allow for simulation of reality, the easiest way to celebrate that newfound power is to sort of deconstruct not so much reality, which I think violent video games are mistaken for. Like, oh, let's take reality and do horrible, violent fantasies with them. I think it's more a deconstruction of what you've previously been able to do within video games.
Okay.
So like I grew up on pole position, where you're just like, and if you go off the road, your car turns into 8 more pixels, and you're told that you lost. And so the exhilarating power of being able to hit the F key and get out of your car, run over to another one, hit the F key again, at which point your character opens that guy's car door, pulls him out, punches him in the face, throws him away, and gets in that car. That's right. It's not so much like I always wished I could do that. It's like I'm so glad this video game is allowing me to see more of the world.
Cut to us in bed today.
Okay,
so happy.
And I gotta say, I'm not trying to score points here, but I am very handicapped in these games by my absolute like. I have a very difficult time crossing the threshold where like people are being victimized, like even though they're kind of like randomly generated like people. Thanks, baby. Like but there always comes a point when you do cross that threshold on accident. Like you just sort of someone gets in the way and you hit them with a bat, and then you're like, oh, I'm fine, and then it starts to become. It's like by the time you're done playing those games, you're kind of like exploring every horrible masochistic.
I don't have flashbacks when I play Grand Theft Auto. Like, oh man, I shouldn't have clubbed that hooker. I don't. That's not.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. But like they're. I don't know. I'm your mother. All of a sudden. Oh no, dear. I know you can play it as much as you want. It's a fun game. Like I bring in handing you
Don't buy
cookies
this for your children, please.
All right, listen. Okay. If there's not anything more pressing, we got other other segments to cover. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You think you got it under control now? You see that guy in that billboard?
Any other really pressing questions about the billboard? Nothing?
Erin, are you just like, is there a concern in your mind that you're going to lose Dan to this game that you don't understand?
No,
that won't happen.
No.
I can't go near this thing until December.
No, really.
And then we're going to Scotland. I can't. I'm going to miss out on Grand Theft Auto 5.
Aww.
It'll be there when you get back down.
You know what?
Yeah.
You could. I'll dress up like a lady of the night. Okay. I'll make you a little cardboard car.
Can I give you five weird catchphrases to just say at a random?
Wait, what are the catchphrases?
Looking good, sugar. What's happening? That boy be tripping. Hey, want a party? And stop stealing that car.
Oh wait. For a short time, for a summer in LA, I was a tutor for kids in the 8th grade who were wanting to get into private high schools, an English tutor. And the kid that I was tutoring, or supposed to tutor, he got to have like a video game break and would just go and play Grand Theft Auto and just drive over people. And he was a really shitty kid, and that sounds
bad. Is that a 1-to-1 correlation? You're like, oh, if you're driving over kids in Grand Theft Auto, you're terrible.
It wasn't his fault that he was a shitty kid. His dad owned Jeopardy and a million other things. He lives in an estate.
Oh yeah, totally.
His dad was Merv Griffin.
What?
You tutored Ted Griffin?
Damian Griffin?
That's a weird correlation.
Has nothing to do with Jeopardy. I'm just saying that he comes from a family with $1 bazillion and his parents don't pay attention to him. And he has a personal chef and someone who teaches him, and his parents
are raised by video games. I know that.
No, he's not raised by video games.
If history's any teacher, being born rich will make you shittier before video games do. That's for sure.
It has nothing to do with
because
video
there's been rich people for a long time and a healthy history of shitty people. And then video games just came along recently. It's just something for shitty people to do along with good people.
I love video games.
If Caligula had Grand Theft Auto, he'd be raping a lot of people. He'd also already be bad.
This has nothing to do with video games. He was sad because his parents wouldn't hug him, and they lived in the same house but wouldn't come to his wing of the house. Like that's how crazy.
You're saying that Merv and Linda Griffin would not come in?
It all started when they finally got tired of his Richard Pryor in a plastic ball.
He did literally. Does anyone know the name of that Japanese artist who would make those big sculptures of like plush sculptures, and sometimes it would be like a man coming on himself, or like sometimes it would be.
What?
I expected a lot of people to Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
I don't know how common you think your Google alerts are.
Anyway, there's this what?
Hiroshima, Nagasaki. It's your idea of a Japanese.
That's fake racist.
Fun fact, I was born in Japan. But anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is there's this fine artist that was in town. He had a giant sculpture by this artist in his room. He just had a lot of money, and he was so sad because his parents literally would not speak to him, and he became like such a shitty, sad kid.
They would only let him talk in the form of a question.
Sorry. Why don't you love me?
No, it's what is I have to make poopies.
When I say own Jeopardy, I mean owned the company that owns Jeopardy and Oprah and whatever. It doesn't matter.
The more specific you get, the more we have to delete out of this podcast. The broader we make it, the less we have to cut out of the show.
The point is, and this is not a comment on Grand Theft Auto at all. I don't think that makes people bad at all. But he would play it just to run over people. Like in his head, I would sit next to him and try to play it with him and be like, "Oh, let's get on it. Let's play it. There's a mission. Let's do a mission." But he was like, "I'm playing. I'm doing it," and would just drive over. Like in his mind, he's like, "Hey, Mom, I'm gonna." Well, his mom wasn't there. At a picture of his mom, he would say, I'm gonna go play my video games now, and just would spend hours.
You know, Erin, there's a cheat.
People.
If you hit Control F or FF, like up, down, down, your character can put on a musical show.
Is there a game like that? What was that game? Grand Fame Theft Automatic.
You just jump out of the car and there's a plastic bucket and you start doing like a stomp thing and you have to build your way up to.
Grand stage attention theft.
All right, come on. Let's thank Erin McGathy and Tyler Durden. I don't know what your last name is.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're good.
Giffen. Tyler Giffen. Thank you, Erin.
Tyler Handenraisin is so excited that someone was asking questions, a girl no less, about Grand Theft Auto. It wasn't, I don't know, I was just entertained by her questions. Like, I was just like, she doesn't, I'm 40 years old and I'm still feeling like a 13-year-old boy going like, you just don't get it. I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't care who that guy is. She was I didn't even look at the guy's face. I'm just seeing like Grand Theft Auto 5 and I'm like, anyways.